The commissioner looking at the street allocation that you provide to us in green here, the question 4 to 7. So yesterday we had the number of one day engineering 792. And you're telling us available here on this sheet is 542. So that's a delta of 247,000 from yesterday. And then on the parks improvement, we had 1,029,000.
Which reflected the 22 CDBG budget, which on review, apparently it's already been amended, so it goes out of there.
247 and the 300,000. 300,000 for parks.
Whatever is in the 22 budget on your sheet.
22 budget.
Yeah, 300,000 for the park. Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, please.
so, Mr. Bigelow, can you explain for us how, because, you know, Ms. Harper went through all of this and brought up these numbers. Can you explain to us how 200, the 300,000 from 2022, which we've already closed the books on, how somebody can be committed to a project? But she showed that HUD is showing money, her HUD system with 50 cents is a lot of breakdowns. Her HUD system is showing money that's still there. However, it's committed to a project, but the book is closed. I can't understand that.
So I specifically do not work with this process. Our county supervisor, she has access to IDS and reconciles that with our accounting software. So upon reconciliation, we found those numbers not to be available.
Yeah, but if it's from 2022, why? If what Ms. Harper sent us, all of that, and then HUD still says it's available, I don't understand how they're not matching up.
I don't have an answer for you. I know there's been a lot of turnover within certain departments. But I do not have an answer for you at this time. Mayor, if you have anything, I defer to you on that.
There's two accounting systems, and what is in the HUD system is not the system that we use to actually set up an account and expend funds from. That comes out of units.
I understand that part, but if the HUD system is still showing it's sitting there and we haven't spent it down.
But the
How
munis
can we
system, which we spend money out of, says it's been spent.
But we never drew it down from HUD.
That was
Munis shows our actual cash flow and what we have.
So that means we never drew money down from HUD.
It's possibly either with different transitions within the department, it could be possible.
So that needs a real exact answer, because if HUD still says we have it, and you say we spent this, and something's not reconciling, and I don't know how we move forward with that difference. Because we got multiple emails with showing that this money was available, multiple.
Commissioner, I just want to go back to the question and ask. We asked yesterday for you to look at how much we can put towards salary, which we have here, admins. We also asked about fees for surveys. We asked about overtime and any other line that see this can be drawn up. So what you provide here to us, you provide the admin with the salary, and then you give us capital projects. I don't think we asked for that yesterday.
You did not, but I was showing what was eligible when we had discussions with department heads today. And this is what we found would be eligible currently for the 26 budget.
So you don't have a report showing us that where this money can be spent within the department other than capital?
Well, the numbers are there. It doesn't mean it can necessarily be spent the way the council wants it. It has to be in a qualified project or program.
And that's what we asked last night. Or if
Well, you've got to tell me what you wanted.
Well, I think last night our request was so that Ms. Carver and the commission to work together to see which lines, I mean, each department where we can allocate money based on what qualified under the CDBG. That was our ask yesterday.
Well, we met, went over it, and that's the report that's been forwarded to the council.
So, Mr. Goodman, so are you also saying that because according to the report that we on the 29th, there were SNAP invoices back from 21 that were not for money that was not drawn down. And then it was, the SNAP invoices were then passed, were then sent forward and then drawn down, right? This is what we got. This is, I'm guessing comes from your office, but those invoices.
No, so we didn't receive those invoices yet. I think it's, the Director of Development, stated yesterday, those invoices were received by her department for processing them, and then finance receives them to do the account.
So, once all that's done, I thought we understood last night that this amount, $197,045 will go back, as well as $159,450, which is for the demolition. Are you saying that's and the $206,342? Are you saying those amounts will not go back to the general fund? Well, his total is from the total last
No,
night.
that's not what I said. I said that it is essentially going back to the general fund, but we do not know how we're gonna end this year. Most likely, it's gonna be a shortfall, so you can't account. So when I said there would be available approximately $4.1 million, back to $2 million from the proposed budget, you can't say, let's add another $500,000 to put within the 26 proposed budget. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but it wasn't identified when this budget was put together. So we were already, I would hope, accounting for any shortfall.
Yes.
So now, if this 562,000 has been identified, you're saying we still can't spend it because of the shortfall, but you weren't counting it in the first place. So it doesn't make sense to me because it wasn't money that you thought there was available when the budget was developed.
Yeah, I can't speak to that, so not a CDBG effort.
I don't think it really amounts to CDBG at this point. I think it amounts to what was in the budget. This was money that came after your budget was developed, so I don't think it's just CDBG. So I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about, now you're saying that the money that has been identified that could go back to the general fund, you're going to use it because there may be a shortfall. And I'm saying when the budget was developed, no one was aware that this money could possibly be available. So why can't we put it in the 26 budget? Because I would assume when you were developing the budget, you were considering any shortfall that may come.
We consider shortfalls, but we don't know at the end of the year what the shortfall is gonna be or surplus. So like I made, for example, last meeting, we had home sales at 4.5. We're only expecting $2 million approximately. We're not even at that goal yet, we're correct for 1.5 million. So as we can make trends, we can forecast, do analysis, but we're not gonna be 100% on the ball.
And well, in terms of the home sales, the mayor said that there's going to be, he's expecting something to close in 2025, which would get us to that number. So I'm assuming that was also part of the projection when the budget was being developed.
I also want to state, when we went through the whole process for the budget cycle, June, July, August, these numbers were never presented to finance.
Okay,
So I was unaware of these until recent events.
The
understood.
CDBG. Yeah.
Understood. I understand all of that, but this, we're talking about what can we use capital projects to prevent from borrowing, and that's a great thing.
Right.
But I'm really, really concerned about the money that invoices have been returned because since 21 and 22, and 23 under SNAP and under demolitions, like 24, and also under code, under 22, 23, 24, that we already paid whatever these amounts were for, whether it was for
But the
salary.
money has been paid.
Right.
And so, yes, in theory, you're going to have less pressure on the 25 budget. But the money going in there does not necessarily mean you can't take that exact amount and move it forward to the 26 budget. You could take a larger amount of reserves. That's in theory what that would do is increase the reserves and then move it forward. What the staff is saying, what I'm saying is we're not sure the level of reserves are going to be there based on how the 25 budget ends.
Sam, do you think we are streaming? Because I got a text from someone saying that they can't see.
Oh, it's always
He's
been a
having
problem.
issues streaming, but they have it on Facebook.
Okay.
Oh, something's, okay. That's been ongoing problem. So it's already 1,111, is that the number?
36, 34 million.
What was the question, please?
939.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's on the sheet, 34,111,900.
Oh,
Thing. Oh, you put our changes with this. I already did it. Yeah, thank you.
I included all the adjustments that staff has found today.
Yeah, so that's why it says new under CDBG, right? And you put that across the board
Correct,
for all
correct.
of our council members.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I removed these other CDBG items that were found to have invoices attached to them.
Yeah, that's the problem area.
Also, I just want to state for the last time we met, I don't know if we went through the packets, but it was the 24 audit for the city, the HUD audit, workers' comp, reports, council member. And year to date as well, as it was 10:30.
10:30, yeah.
Morning.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah.
Commissioner, on this sheet here, my numbers are, some of them are missing and some of them are wrong.
Which ones in particular?
If you look where the blank is, that should be 800,000. I don't know why it got a zero.
We could we correct that, I thought it was removed from the last discussions, but
Yeah.
we only
No,
got
it's-
800,000.
800,000 need to be put back here.
Okay, so,
And on your line, Mr. Mover,
Yes, the next one, 150 is okay, 200 okay, 130 is okay, 200.
okay,
That one is not 250, it's 500,
500.
and the other one is not 100,000.
500 for line sales of homes.
Yes,
Okay, well,
and the next one is 450,
450.
and that 100.
Those adjustments.
Mr. Mover, what does that make your total? Have you?
I didn't do the math,
Okay.
they're gonna have to do it, it's this, I don't know why that dropped down.
I'll do it quickly.
Are there any more adjustments? There are, then we can take care of them in a minute. Eric,
Let me just check.
go down the hall. Update the package.
Oh, this is the next one.
Can you check and see if there's anything with your recommendation? And we can have them update the sheet so that we can continue our discussion.
Mine looks correct, based on one of the last meetings. We had made some changes.
So just, so just
Go
to
ahead,
clear,
please.
the CDBG admin is like any admin, whether it's under street improvements or park improvements, you just put those numbers together. Didn't separate them one part from the other, or so CDBG admin.
Correct,
You should-
just for the ease of seeing for the council.
Alright, thanks.
And if you have any questions about mode change for the count, we've reached out to Mr. Eric over here. Just hopefully help the council, show how many are in line that we're. Well, if there's 5 members, we'll show 5 that are in line, if there's 6 members, 6 are in line, just,
Oh, where is
try to
that?
help.
Oh, I see, over in the side. Oh, I didn't even see that. It's kind of light on our, okay, got it. Oh, thank you for doing that. Excellent. Hmm.
you guys want, I can print it out and pull it up or so we can get through consensus.
Just write it over.
Can you update the sheet to make the correction for me, the three, or three corrections, it's just as one sheet?
Are there any more adjustments probably to send them?
Nothing in my thing, but I think it would
We
be
don't
good
want
to,
continue to update this.
no, I understand. I think that new column, which is very, very helpful, will be helpful to our discussion. If that could be a little bit darker or maybe in red or something.
No, I just had a question for you, ran out through.
I'm done.
So, all right, I'm gonna start with question number 9. Well, I'll start with these are the questions, with myself. Question number 8, and I asked why the salaries were, is going to be talking about at least at some point, why the salaries are. And you put them in because they're a third in the general fund, but they're not any longer. So this, your budget analysis for waste is for 2026, is that correct?
It's the 25 and then 26. So they oversee the waste
I
department.
understand that.
We also included workers' comp, which is in the lower section. So you can see that it's specifically in the waste department lines. So we're just trying to show the whole picture for the council.
Right.
As requested.
Right, but if we're talking about what's gonna be in 26, and then it's coming out of certain one in 26, then I don't know why it's showing in the analysis. If you're analyzing what it's gonna look like for 26.
If you want that reprinted with that out, we'll take it out.
We could definitely take it
That's,
out.
but that's reflecting the cost of that operation.
Again, 1037 is.
We've not settled the contract.
So those numbers are
No.
gonna increase as well.
I'm 100% clear on that, 100% clear on that, but again, the salary for 2 individuals whose salary is being taken someplace else
That's fine.
doesn't make sense being there, and their benefits. So the other question was, about the smart node project, and I'm not sure this question was. So it says, according to the prior utility supervisor, majority of the nodes. But that doesn't answer the question. The question is, can the amount of $679,620 be funded through the CDBG? And so the answer should it's either to me, it's either yes or no, what this amount can be. But the answer is, according to the prior supervisor, they'll be in CDBG areas. So does that mean we can spend some money there, or does it mean that we can't? Or can we spend some of the money?
I'm not certain.
It's the
So it
general,
depends on.
that it could be funded out of CDBG. I'm not 100% sure because of the newness of those, where they're devices that most communities don't haven't deployed. We have to tell them what we're doing and see if we're gonna get approval to put them in.
Mhm.
So according to this answer, this means that, and he's saying the majority are in CDBG. So you're saying that even if we identify the CDBG areas, we still have to ask HUD, can we use this money for that? Is that what you're?
Would be the appropriate way to approach it.
But that's going to be, capital anyway.
That would be a
So-
capital project.
And how far out are we talking about trying to bond this money to pay for that? And
Well, I think we're looking at bonding it this year.
So-
For 26.
so how, but I mean, if we have this, some money that we need from CDBG, doesn't it make sense to find that out whether we can use it or not before we go bonding then?
I suppose so. We got Mr. Cannon join the meeting, see if he's available to go through, but I don't know the exact area those will be placed. So you would have to give a presentation on that.
So I'm not trying to throw on this project tomorrow, November 1st, this budget process. So, if let's say we can always do a budget amendment, if we put it in there that we're going to use this as a capital project, we're gonna bond this money, but the report is completed, and then we know that we can use it in CDBG, is there an opportunity to then amend that so they use the CDBG funds?
If you're borrowing it,
Before we borrow. I don't wanna borrow it when there's an opportunity, there may be an opportunity not to borrow. I mean, why would we wanna borrow money when we have money that we can spend? Why would we do that?
Again, I don't know, we would have to have a presentation from Mr. Cannon, go into the nitty gritty and see how much we can utilize in CDBG. I don't have an answer for you tonight.
No,
Some
I,
of the problem with CDBG now too is with the federal shutdown, there aren't staff available. They'd have to just answer some routine questions.
but my understanding is that this money is already here. No, we're not talking about future CDBG.
No,
We're
but
talking
it's,
about CDBG money.
no, but it's to be able to use it in an appropriate manner. Taking some of this money and said that it's like available for administration, that doesn't necessarily charge everything off against it. It has to be for a qualifying project or national priority or goal.
When Ms. Farmer was talking, she gave us the guidance of where that could come from. So we can't use the current guidelines that's already out there, that what this money can be used for, in order to make those determinations. If the guidelines are available to us.
Well, should we ask Ms. Carver, maybe?
She told us, she sat there and told us, and she read from it.
Tell us again.
So there's no tell
Tell us
us.
again.
Well,
I don't think it's-
I mean, Mr. Guckelman can't answer, the only one that can is Ms. Carter.
Well, no, we can look up, how about we look up the regulation for ourselves and just ask for a copy of it? And so, so what I'm trying to get to here is, if we put it in the budget, in the capital budget, this money, and then before we borrow it, we can determine that some of the money that exists can be used.
That is a possibility. And in fact, when we go out to bond, even right at the end, it's always, you're trying to revalidate the assumptions that are in the capital budget so that we're not borrowing more than we have to.
That's where I'm trying to get to, so I think we should have that figured out before we bond. And, I don't know at what point you would, I know that Mr. Karn said this is something that really needs to happen rather quickly, so
We
that's why,
started the process, beginning of January.
right, for all bodies?
It's a lengthy process, and then, the end is, May, June, and that's when we're receiving the funding.
So then we still have November and December to figure this out before the bonding process starts.
Possibly. Again, I would suggest having a conversation with, Mr. Cannon, and see what the eligibility is, what streets we're going to utilize for this other project.
I agree with that, and I'm hoping that's already identified. And then, again, if we identify it, we can then amend the budget, we're not bonding. Is that a yes?
Yeah, I think the mayor's, David saying that
I didn't hear a definite, we can amend the budget, but that's my question. I'm trying to prevent us from borrowing more.
Which budget? The operating budget or the capital?
Where this money is capital budget, still could we amend that part of it? Are we able to do that?
Whoever amended the capital budget, doesn't.
Maybe it was never necessary, but sure is now.
I would assume you can do everything up until you do the final bond work. Those numbers have been matched up.
And then-
In fact, it would almost be, you don't even have to amend it, whatever you adopt in the final bond ordinance. So it's correct, Richard.
Yeah, I believe they made adjustments in the past.
So if we found money available, it was just a bond ordinance.
It would create issues if there was a dramatic shift in the amount of money we were borrowing, or something that there wasn't a logic behind it when we do a rating call. They go over the whole financial history of the city and how we're gonna be able to pay it back, and what's the money going to be used for. So as long as it is part of the original plan or assumptions, that final bond ordinance could be modified.
All right, and question number 10, which was Can any portion of the CDBG funds allocated for engineering be used towards well water improvements, wastewater treatment plant improvements, or the South Ferry Street Station, or the pump station? And the answer is NA. Does that mean no?
I wasn't able to give an answer, all the fund,
But these are out of water and sewer funds. It's different.
that's correct. Well, it's the capital we wanted to go to.
So you're saying that there's no amount of CDBG funds can be used for that? If it's, then, okay.
We have fund balance to,
Oh, yeah.
we have some reserves covering some of the capital, but these ones are being borrowed, within the capital budget.
I'm trying to get a borrowing down, because we've already got to pay that. All right. Well. Okay, it just seems like if there's, if there's facilities and things, but you're saying, yeah, that it can't be because it's in the.
Well, the other issue is that we've been very successful and very aggressive in terms of getting grants to do the upgrades for water and sewer. So we wouldn't want to put it out that we're using, like it's already paid for, then we might not qualify for any of those funding streams.
I certainly don't disagree, but what Mr. Goodman says that we're gonna borrow the money, so I'm trying to offset us borrowing money, because that's what I was understanding, not that we could get grants, but that we would borrow the money, so I was approaching it from that angle. Those, I just wanted to get clarification on the question, those were the questions that I had, and I didn't feel were, I had clarity on, and I think it's a little more clear.
Needing more clarification
I
on
said-
all or some?
No, well, we have to, I think, number nine. Number nine is clear to me, because, you know, you're saying that when we do the bond ones, we just wouldn't ask for as much if there was other funding, and the mayor is saying that for number 10, we may go out, we might be able to be eligible for grants, but we don't want to say, hey, we have money, but if we go up and saying, hey, we're gonna borrow it, so that's be part of the bonding.
To do the projects, some of those don't fully understand the grant applications. We have to say that we're ready to pay for it. We borrow $10 million.
Mhm.
But we then qualified for either some of the projects have been zero interest financing. It's been some of the ones were gotten grants for it, and then the actual amount that is bonded is significantly less than the $10 million.
Thank you.
All those have been approved by the city council, so I assume the council could recap it in detail.
Well, before we move it, there may be other funds we approved, because we didn't know about other money that might be available, so that would be, revisit that. Can we get the updated sheet? Yeah. Can you just kind of get it on there?
Which one, sorry?
Page-
The new sheet?
Yeah.
So the, general fund, so if you see the highlighted amount, CDG admin, that is the amount that, department heads, working, today, really, you know, took a lot of effort, with the development department, mayor's office, permanent, departments there, with the streets improvements and park improvements, the total admin is in that line, so I just added that for council to see. What was eligible that we felt was eligible CDBG admin, and then you go with that to capital 2026 council budget changes. These are changes that the council has made, we just made these adjustments accordingly, to show the reflection of what capital projects that are eligible.
So you're talking, so you're saying, so that's $262,000? Okay.
Yeah, it's on the back of the sheet.
And then.
Oh, yes, got that.
It's on
Charging
the same.
stations,
Have to borrow. So all together, what's our final number? Well, not final number, but at least where we're at for, through the reconciliations that have happened thus far and money that is going back to the city, including, if we were to include, this admin line as well. How much would that be?
you see the 200,000, the admin, 262, youth employment. Something.
Another $400,000?
Is that the first four lines? Yeah.
Yeah.
And the senior center, right? The first four lines of the expense, no?
The senior center, no.
Oh, okay,
The
fine.
youth employment is, CDBG, covered.
And contingent.
Oh, okay, where is this one?
So the 500,000 that we discussed yesterday, as we were, we wrapped up our meeting, you were saying that if we experience a shortfall, we'll find something left, so it's 530-something thousand, then I believe.
562,000.
562,
837.
okay, plus this two. This was two, okay. That's what.
If numbers, that if you wanted, everyone to check the numbers to make sure they're reflected accurately on the newest print, report that we got today.
They have to be cold on that motorcycle.
It's a little tricky. He poured down and making the changes for.
Okay.
Oh, Eric's bringing us back another sheet, is that?
Which
what's
is
going on?
Mr. Moody.
Okay. So it'll be a good time for a break. That's what we're hearing.
It's okay, it might be running. Time's ticking.
Yes.
But this is next week.
Okay.
So.
It has to.
Okay, we'll just restart our discussion. Thank you for the these changes.
Yeah, of course. Chair,
Go ahead, please.
so could you give me a little refresher on to what happened with the numbers that Ms. Carver projected? And those seem to change drastically, that you help me understand how that happened?
So, looking at the numbers with Mrs. Carver,
I'm sorry?
Oh, no, sorry. No.
Okay, I thought you.
Go ahead, go ahead.
so.
No, you came 45 minutes late, so we've already.
Oh, please.
What is this?
Please, let's not have this.
You guys can leave early. I think I can come in and expect this information.
All right.
If you want to turn this into something different than what it
I
is.
don't, but we.
Please, let's not talk.
Almost 45
I am
minutes.
not
to
gonna
get
allow
through
this
that.
in this
Thank you,
meeting.
sir.
Please.
Sorry. Okay.
Please, we had a wonderful discussion, let's not end it on this note.
No.
Asking the question.
Go ahead, please provide Mr. Farley with his summary.
So working with department heads included, Mrs. Carver, right. Our software system with IBS. These are the numbers that were eligible for utilizing within the 2026 budget. We targeted, as you can see, some capital implementations, paving, greenhouse signage. And then you have, totals for admin, for streets, 192, 519, 695, 500, admin for parks improvements for a total of 62,000 and change, which is reflected, in that CDBG admin line revenue where it says new. So I just included that across the board, so I was assuming council, all council members would approve of it.
That's a bold statement.
And then with the packet previously received, the last page capital reflects the adjustments. Seeing the amount borrowing in the general fund. If you look through your packet, you'll see those adjustments accordingly. Again, I can take it out, it's a council can decide, but I figured just to show you the whole package, give the whole picture.
Under the summer, you think?
So, this is just the new, general fund that Mr. Munchie printed for everyone, with, basically mayor's, adjustments. That, were on allowance taxes, and I believe the other one was, the sale homes. To make the, correct totals for Mr. Rivera.
Okay.
So the previous packet provided the council had the, sewer, water, credit.
So I'm just gonna throw away these top.
So the overall number that, Ms. Carver, sent us in the email, that number was reduced.
Correct.
That's the information I'm looking for. Why was that?
That's this sheet that should have been in your.
So,
packet.
no, I see the
Today.
sheet. I'm asking by the overall reduction of what,
So,
I don't understand.
after a meeting with the permanent department heads, and looking at our books compared to IES, the reconciliation.
Okay, so our books compared to IES, so
Our accounting software, and then IES is what we utilize in development. Missing, it's no matter.
no.
So these are the funds that we believe are eligible to utilize within the 26 budget. Hopefully that answers your question.
That just one more clarity, because based on what our earlier conversation, so. The understanding is that what the city says is available, what HUD, which are from the HUD is available, are two different numbers. And so what the numbers that she identified were what HUD says are available, but based on the meeting today, when we get into funding, they're saying our numbers don't meet theirs. And our numbers are lower, and some of the money that she's identified has already been spent. Even though those are at 22. So that's.
Was Ms. Carver at this meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
Of course.
Last time.
No, sorry.
Oh,
The meeting today with.
I'm sorry.
Internal, yes,
Yes.
she was included, and
Can I,
I'm sorry. I
we
thought-
were working on it for about 6 hours.
Mhm.
Can I ask a clarifying question if she was present? I said, can I ask a clarifying question if she was present?
Yeah, sure.
So my clarifying question is, does Ms. Carver stick to her numbers, or is she saying there's numbers that were created through finance? Are you guys agreeing on the numbers?
We are agreeing to the numbers that are presented to council.
You're agreeing, so
We
Ms.
are.
Carver as well.
We are, yes, yes.
Okay.
So the food, so the HUD reporting numbers, so the numbers that HUD is saying available is different than the numbers that the city is saying available. But doesn't the city report to HUD money that's spent, so that's how we get to the number of the amount that's in what HUD is reporting on, correct? So in other words, HUD gives us money, we send a report, say we spent this much money, they subtract what the money that we report, and then that should give us our final number, right?
So so within that system. And there's been, I stated it previously too, there's been a lot of turnover in that department, so there's a possibility that something could have not been drawn down appropriately. So that's why these are the numbers we feel comfortable providing counsel. And finance team and development team are gonna be working hand in hand to look at the books between the two, to resolve any future matters.
That's great.
So my question is, so if we know that you're saying that money wasn't drawn down, so it wasn't reported to HUD, that money wasn't drawn down? Is that what you're saying? That money was drawn down, but it wasn't reported to HUD?
No,
I'm
the
trying
money
to-
wasn't even drawn down based on. They spent, my understanding is the money was spent, but HUD is showing that the money's still there. But our city, the city is showing that the money was spent.
So yeah, but as a city, we report to HUD the money we spent.
Right.
Right, so if we
Well,
report,
we draw it down from there and I think,
no, we report to HUD.
yeah, but it hasn't been drawn down based on, what is it, IDIS. According to IDIS system, which is the HUD system, right? The money's still there. But according to the municipal,
Yes.
Yes.
the money is there. So there's a difference in those two accounting systems as to how much money is available.
So what expenses does HUD, so what expenses weren't drawn down or reported to HUD? So that's my question.
Well, we have certain expenses, that our accounting supervisor went through diligently today, comparing, IDIS and our unit software, and found, a couple items that seem to be drawn down.
What are those items, do you know?
So they're part of the streets and parks improvements. So there was two numbers in there,
How much?
that.
For the $50,000?
250.
Oh, you have, do we have a copy?
No, you're looking at her package that she put together. I don't think there is that.
Oh, you want this one?
Seems to be the additional work done here at your own part.
Yes, Mayor, that's correct, thank you.
And what year was that?
Was
A
it?
full year ago.
Hmm. Mhm.
So that's.
So,
So the money was spent out of Eunice, but the other system was not updated.
I get
but
it.
if the money was spent out of units and IDIS was not updated and HUD still, we still have the money. So that means we paid it out of the city, I'm gonna differentiate between city money and HUD money. So that means we paid out of the city funds. And
The
now,
Eunice is actual cash,
right,
the other one is a bookkeeping system.
right. So, but if that, in that bookkeeping system, the money's still there, should not we be drawing it down to get the actual cash back that we already spent?
In theory, yes, but Again, I don't know, we'd have to look back, there's been lots of transfers, transitions with that department, and we're trying to get a hold of it. So these are the numbers, again, we met with development, other key, department heads, and this is what we're presenting to the council that we feel comfortable with. As CPPO.
So the Jerry Pearl Park, they said that's 250,000.
Yeah.
That's all right. Okay. And what else?
They just give up the street, you can put it too.
So, 250,000 for street rehab and road improvements.
That's not, is that Jerry Pearl Park? Is that same thing we're talking
So
about?
250, yes.
Okay.
And then also part of that, also went to Jerry Borough Park, park improvements, 300K,
Okay. So 250 or 300K,
both.
they all went to Jerry Borough.
And again, I'm still investigating this, it is a very important area of reconciliation, trying to get the numbers as quick as possible to council. So like I said, we're gonna be working deeply with the development department to.
We must take it back.
Okay, of course. Still.
So you're saying 550,000 out of what was previously identified?
Yes, correct, and I believe one of the numbers, was a 40,000 number, for the street rehabilitation facility improvements, that 40,000.
Mhm.
County found out to be $42,000 and change.
Oh, it's $2,000.
So that's, yeah, so you'll see that affected, within the street improvements. So we found a $2,000 difference there.
All right, so, and I hate to keep going over this, but the only money that, what I'm hearing from you is that the 550 essentially, the street improvements around Jerry Borough are within Jerry Borough Park. That's the only place that this money is spent.
Correct. From the reconciliation we did today,
And
that's
you-
what we found today.
And you're subtracting that from the street improvements part?
Street improvements and also parks.
Or you're taking it from both? Which not from each?
You want to go through that, just say that to the council, not for each.
I think you still have it.
Go on.
I'm sorry?
I said, let me know if you need this back. I didn't have it.
So streets, 250, and parks, 300.
Okay.
That's So what's the difference between the number that Ms. Carver told us initially and then what number that you're saying now, based on.
So I believe Mr. Lebaron already did the calculation.
On what?
The difference between what Ms. Carver presented and what we're presenting.
Yes. So let me just recap that. So last time we were looking at the engineering, 790,449. And the total availability is 542,519. That gives us a funding balance of 247,913 under engineering. And in parts, we had 1,029,500. And available in this report here is 729,500. That's a delta of 300,000. So total that's 547,930. Difference from yesterday.
And essentially, you can take the first line, because it actually ends up, the line for 2022 is 250,000 under streets. And on the line for 2022 is 200,000 under parks. So it's a very exact number.
So I guess my wondering is, we report the HUD. Was that quarterly reporting the HUD or annually reporting the HUD? How does that?
I don't specifically do it with the business development department that does that. I know I already worked up there briefly to assist on some matters.
So is that quarterly or annually?
Both,
Okay, so we do quarterly reports and then a year-end report to HUD.
correct, and IDIS, just to clarify, is not it's not HUD reporting, it is the city reporting through HUD.
Sure.
So with the turnover rate, not only can Munis be affected, but so can IDIS. So if a person makes a mistake in Munis, they're just as likely to make a mistake in IDIS
What do you mean turnover rate?
with staff.
Staffing changes in development.
So, that raises another question for me. Who has access to both systems?
A lot of development and finance.
So development is, so Munis is not just the finance, you're saying development has access to it as well? Okay. And that, but not everybody.
Not any, no, and there's limitations to what kind of permissions they have.
There's only a certain amount of people that can be within those.
Yeah, so I'm guessing it's you two.
I'm not.
Not you?
So
Okay, not you.
that would be a check and balance probably, or is that why you don't?
Our accounting supervisor has access.
Right.
And you have access to them?
I have only limited view.
Only viewing access to both?
No, I have much more access to this.
Well, go ahead, please, if you have.
Yeah, no, I'm just kind of trying to put this all together because I know, so I imagine, I'm trying to kind of back out of this, like, what is it, what's the other, like, so therefore, so then our HUD reporting, we have to go back and amend our HUD reporting, correct?
Yes, and if there's a mistake in that, I can't say without auditing it and reconciling it, Ms. Cover and Mr. Udumont both noted that there's a significant volume of data that has to go through. And there's certain numbers that multiple department heads and the mayor have agreed on to save values of things that can be drawn down, which is what said.
Sure, so my point then being is that I appreciate all the work that's being done, number one. I want to start there. What I'm saying is that for council, in order for us to make a determination, we have to be looking at the same numbers. You understand what I'm saying? Because if our numbers aren't informed by the same numbers that you guys are making your calculations on, then obviously we won't be able to make the appropriate projections and decisions around the budget. So I'm asking again, so we're gonna have to go back and amend our reporting to HUD if we're doing these reports quarterly. And then that is not accurate, then that opens up another. I guess that's not even necessarily at this point. I'm concerned about the way that numbers are shifting around. And I'm concerned about that. I don't know. Yeah. So you're saying that maybe the HUD reporting is accurate?
I mean, I don't know until investigation. I don't know if
The HUD, you're saying the numbers that are in the, what's reflected, and I'm gonna forgive my terminology here, let me just go. So what's reflected in the HUD account is different than what's in our city account, what's reflected in our city account, correct?
What's located in our software, there's some consolidation matters that we have to review.
Okay,
So
that's
that
fair.
answers your question.
Okay, my concern about this is that we've been talking about this for some time now, and again, I don't feel like we are making an informed decision at the level that we should until we get these numbers. I mean, thus far, based on the numbers that we have in front of us, I mean, we're upwards over $700,000 that's been returned in some capacity to the general fund. So if that's the case, again, that's a significant amount of money, and that can change the scope of our budget conversations and change the
Not
reality.
correct, it's 824,000.
I was being,
Zero.
I was being too conservative.
Not
Right.
correct.
No, I
That's why
appreciate
you
that. No, just keep the numbers going that way.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, though, that's, we could be at $1 million before we know that really changes the landscape of these budget deliberations.
So actually, but what we're talking about, and we have been talking about mostly right here, is just the capital piece. Right now, so the 200,000, 250,000, 300,000, those are talking about the money that was identified as engineering and parks. So it's separate and apart from the other money that, where the invoices were outstanding, so that we reconciled. And we thought were gonna be returned to the general fund in the amount of $562,837.
Right, so,
Just 1 minute, please.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So I would feel more comfortable if Ms. Carver came back in the morning and explained things for us. I mean, you're asking questions of finance. I think,
Well,
right,
Ms. Carver is here and she provided us
But
with
these are the new
detail.
ones.
She detailed us with all the numbers.
So
And
But they're not
I'm not
here.
sure the number that was presented to us, the information that was presented to us yesterday, all of a sudden it became so different today. And we asked specifically for a report, we asked to how to allocate the money in capital projects. We asked across each department, look at every line and see if it's qualified. Ms. Carver said, yes, there are some lines that will qualify for the CDBG spend down, not only salary, but pieces of bills, overtime and things like that can attract some drawdown. So I'm kind of like taking back a little that was not done for us. And all we see here is a plug into the capital. Yes, I like what's going on here, but we didn't ask for this. We asked specifically for these 3 departments. And I would like to still see that report. So, should we finish?
Well, if you put forth money that's out there, and you can review it and propose scenarios that you might want to use it.
Well, that's what we ask, I mean, in terms of overtime, fees for service, and things like that. Can that money be allocated there? And we were told that the finance and development, we're gonna work side by side.
We
To
put
come up with a
together the
proposal.
numbers that are out there, so you can take those numbers and propose to do with it what you want. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it can be used across the board, it has to be used for a qualifying program or one of the national goals or objectives.
Understand me, and that's what we asked, can it be used for overtime, can it be used for fee for service, and we were told yes. How much, we didn't know, and that's what we asked them to go look at the,
So
look
we
at the
got the
numbers.
numbers there. It's the number,
That's, it's not the.
Hold on. Miss-
I just want to finish, so Miss Carter said it wasn't in her almost job description, that she didn't need to go line by line, that she sat there last night and she would work with Mr.
Yes,
And then Mr. Williams even agreed to that, she shouldn't. And they worked together 6 hours, I mean.
Today.
I'm disappointed, I don't, excuse me, and I'm done, thank you.
Take your time.
I'm disappointed, I thought we'd come in with a lot of that money there. I'm happy that money did get put into capital, those are expenses we can use, even though we're not dealing with capital right now, we wanted money here. So I guess, if there's all these questions,
so Commissioner, was any discussion centered around the other lines then, overtime, fees for service? And all those other lines under these department that could have attracted a drawdown from CDBG?
So, with our conversations today, we felt that was most appropriate, coming out of the admin line, but we bring in some improvements. And we worked with our, and city engineer to, locate certain capital projects that are eligible. Is what we recommend to the council. And again, we worked, this is put into question, you guys asked this question last meeting, and we worked diligently. We picked place that we thought was accommodating and was eligible use.
No, I don't think you're answering my question,
Yeah.
Commissioner. We were very specific to look at each department line and to come back to us and tell us how much can we use against each line, including salary. We were told 10% we can use across the lines for salary. That would be a qualifying number against a three department. And then we asked specifically for all the other lines. The director of development told us, yes, we can draw in some money on those. And that's what we asked you to look at the report, come back to us, how much can we draw down? I understand you all spent 6 hours, but the 6 hours not spent on what we asked you, for. So I'm making another request that we need to see that report. Go ahead, please.
I mean, I think some of that might have happened after I left last night, but I'm a little confused because this that we got today, aren't these the questions that you asked him to
The
answer?
questions, but we ask a separate report. What is qualified to draw down CDBG funding on the engineering and parks? Not only salary.
But isn't he telling us that in the answer here
We didn't ask for
on the back?
all capital projects.
Well, no, he's also giving us, I think you said it, $262,019.91 in administration, right?
We talk about overtime, we talk about fees for service, we talk about all of other line items.
the underlying, you have to do underlying projects that are qualified, so that.
That's
Exactly,
what these
that's-
answers were.
That's what Ms. Carver said, that's what they were gonna work together side by side to look at the lines and what is qualified, how much can be assigned to each of the line and come back with us.
So that's what we've put out, that's what the administrative.
Go ahead.
So let's go start with question number 2 of the question. And that is, what is the maximum amount of CDBG fund that can be allocated, transferred to the general fund? And I think that's what captured kind of what you're talking about. And we did ask for specific things. We talked about page number 37, where there's equipment for utilities and traffic. And Ms. Carver and I think also the mayor gave a number around 60 or 63%. We asked about, A5142 on page 51, and if we could use any of that. So those particular questions weren't answered. And we specifically asked under A710, 100. And so the answer to that one, I'm guessing, is that the only amount that we have is 192,000 for that. So that's one I can see that was answered, but the other, ones that we identified in the I can see those things. The fees for service we talked about. The repairs we talked about, and some of them are smaller numbers, but everything adds up. So,
We also added admin for streets as well. So that's 510. It wasn't in the question, but streets with 55110, I believe. So that 690, sorry, the streets is 192,509, and then parks is 69,500.
Some of that.
So please, go ahead, yeah, sorry.
So back to my questions, so when you find, when, as you're going through your accounting and there's money that has been spent, because that's what it looks like, we spent this money in the park, in Jerry Burrell Park, so let's just use like this 300K. Where does that, either the information has to travel or the money has to travel once we recognize that? So what happens with that $300,000 number? I'm just using that as an example. Where does that information then go?
In IDIS or
So how you explained it is that there's the, and again, I'm, forget my terminology, but it's the HUD account that's showing, and then the, was it Munis account? So that's the distinction I'll make, HUD Munis. If HUD account is showing 300K is available, but then Munis is showing that the 300K was spent, what do we do next with that information? Where does that information go?
pursuing, you'd have to have an amendment within HUD
Yes,
to
okay.
correct, to make a corrective action.
So that's the earlier point I was asking you to see, because if that's the case, then we're gonna have to do that, correct?
I can't make that statement, you know, I have to
Okay, I understand.
confirm.
All right, no worries, no worries. So go ahead.
so is it a corrective action or you're drawing the money down? Because money's, according to, the HUD system, the money's there. So is it a corrective action or are you drawing the money down? Because I think, to me, those are two different things.
I don't have an answer for you on that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So in Eunice right now, you're saying that there might be more unreconciled, for lack of a better term, money out there that's already been spent in Eunice.
I'm not saying I would have to look and verify that, I don't have the information at hand. That we're trying to figure out what, department to figure out where's the issue lie.
Commissioner, how long would that take?
I don't have an answer for you on that, I would have to, I don't have access to that system, so I have to talk to our county supervisor and see exactly what that process would entail.
But I think the question was asked on several meetings here, how many invoices are outstanding? Can we look at all department, see invoicement? The answer we're getting, all department heads are looking, and they're trying to, to look for outstanding invoice and to do the reconciliation. So on top of what was found, now we have been told that there might be more outstanding invoice. Um, I don't know. This is getting, it's not getting better. I was hoping that, yeah, we found 3 departments have demolition and codes to draw down and they did the reconciliation. And we are moving on. But what I'm hearing here tonight, there is more. And this troubling.
Yeah, but I'm hearing something different. I'm hearing that the 562 can be drawn back into the general fund. That's what I'm understanding. And then most of the conversation today was about the parks and the engineering, and then 262,000 was identified for administrative costs for those particular departments.
But that's what we asked for.
Yeah.
We specifically asked for that to draw down, look at the 3 department, and then use that money towards salary. But that line that highlighted in yellow here, that's exactly what we're trying to free up the money. Further money from the general fund, use the CDBG money. And the same thing across the board. Go ahead, please.
So the 300, I'm just using it as an example, because we're talking about the 300K, that money was already spent, is what I'm saying.
According to our books, yes. Are you specifically talking about Jerry Brown?
The 300, yeah, I'm just using the one number that you, yeah, okay. So, yeah, so that money was already spent. Where did that money come out?
That money came out.
Hold on a second. Let me make sure I'm getting this right. I'm not trying to cut you off, so I just want to make sure I'm getting this
It
right.
was out of the 22 CDBG.
Okay, yeah, that's confusing because.
Hold on. Just let me.
Let's
That's what I mean.
Mr. Farley, get it answered and then.
Sorry about that, yes.
So when Liz went through it, found that it was the 22.
So this is Chief from 2022. So the came out of, so the Project Street Rehab Facilities, 250K, the park for 300,000. So that went carried around. So we created a munis code specifically for that CD 19071-3 49045-231. That's that answer your question?
No. What I'm asking you is, what account did that money come out of? If it was spent, then what account did the money come out of?
Well, I mean, again, I don't know, there's been multiple, departments, different transfers, it could have been issued in the HUD system. We don't have an answer for you.
This is starting, I'm gonna just say what it is. This is starting to feel like there's something else happening here. You're telling me that there's, and I'm not even going your full number. I'm just saying, you're telling me that there's $300,000 that was spent in Jerry Burrell Park. Okay, my question, the most basic question is, where do we, if that money was spent, where did it come out? There's no way that shouldn't be a question that could be answered. And I'm not putting that on you if there was other people before you that, you know what I'm saying? Let's be clear about that.
22, and we're trying to figure out and make the correct reconciliations and work with the department, figure out where the issue lies.
So ideally, where's this supposed to come from? I guess, what account is it supposed to come from?
So, Eric, I don't know if you could answer that, but yeah, you did work in the development department, or development.
Yeah, so just a couple of things real quick.
Sure.
One, Mr. Blumo is looking at right now, council persons, the Marion is looking at, Porterfield is looking at an active reconciliation record that we're trying our best to reconcile all of the accounts, all of the items for the last 3, 4, almost 5 years. We are trying our best to figure out these matters. In terms of the hypothetical 200 or 300,000, we won't have to go back to the system to give you an answer. We don't have that information readily available currently, so we can't give an answer right now.
So my question is, it's really not, my question is not hypothetical at all. The reason why it went to because my question was very clear. It's the information you're giving us. This is information that you're giving me. You're telling me that some of this money has already been spent. And then I say, where was the money spent? You say Jerry Burrell Park, $300,000. Okay, I'm following your logic there. I'm saying, where did the money come from? And then we're saying we don't know.
So the money came from the city.
Out of what fund?
That, I don't know unless we go back to.
Let's get point here. So this service was provided. People got paid. Invoice, consultant, subcontractor, invoice, everybody got paid. Everybody got a paycheck. So this is a reconciliation being here. So once this reconciliation happened, this 300,000 or 250,000 will go back into the general fund.
Is that correct?
And that's the answer I'm trying to ask.
That's what their end goal is.
Yes, if the money goes back to the general fund, because all these things happen, everybody got paid. Staff get paid, consultant get paid, and if they didn't get paid, well, from 2022, well, something is wrong with us. So the money is going back to the general fund. The reconciliation needs to happen.
It's the entries in the HUD system, paper entries. The cash accounts of the city, the money was paid out of it for Jerry Burrell Park. That shows the debits coming out of it. The IDSI was not updated, so it's still showing the original number. So I don't understand, there's not money to move back, it's already gone out.
We spent it.
Where it draw down from? Did it draw down from CDBG or it draw down from general fund?
Right.
That's what I just asked.
And that's the question. Everybody got paid. Now, how they got paid? General fund? Yes. Then we need to replenish the general fund. I mentioned this, we need an audit on the whole CDBG. And I'm gonna say the names. Oh my God. I'm in finance and you know what, I find it troubling. I'm not blaming nobody, but this is gonna be helpful for the entire city. Let's do an audit on CDBG account and see where there needs to be reconciliation. And money needs invoicing to be provided, and we need to, at the end of the day, if we paid for service through the general fund, we need to replenish the general fund from the CDBG.
So correct me if I'm, so when we pay for, so we'll use this project again. So money comes out of what I'm thinking is a general fund. I don't even know at this point. But money comes out of the general fund to do this project. Then we report that the project is done to HUD, and then HUD reimburses us for the money we spent. Is that how that happens?
That's how it should happen.
Okay.
We report to IDIS.
Sure. And once we report to them, hey, we spent $300,000, HUD says, great job, here's your $300,000 back, correct?
Yes.
So if that's the case, y'all gotta stay with me here. This is really, come on. This is super basic what I'm asking. So if that is the process, and if we spent $300,000 in Jerry Burrell Park, but the HUD system wasn't updated, then that means all we have to do is update the HUD system, and then that money should come back to the city, correct?
Not necessarily.
What other scenario could happen? Can you please help me understand what other happens?
I'm gonna list one hypothetical. I don't like the idea of listing hypothetical.
No.
This fact-based.
Okay.
But be that as it may, I'll list one hypothetical can be that a person draws down in a different account in IDIS. That's a
They made a
hypothetical. I don't like giving hypotheticals.
Sure, so we'll do away with the hypothetical, and I appreciate your trying to, I appreciate that. So if we do away with the hypothetical, we talk about this money, because we know this money was already spent. And we know everybody got paid, to Mr. Mudavarian's point. Now, the HUD system is a reimbursement system, right? So we spend the money first. We don't go in our HUD account, take money and spend it. What we do is we spend the money first, we report it to HUD, and then HUD gives us the money back.
No.
No, that's not how it happens?
We get a annual allocation
Right.
Sure,
from HUD.
okay. So whether it's the annual allocation and or reimbursement after our,
No, we get the money in, so it comes in.
Right?
And it's
okay, that's,
logged in the HUD system and it's logged in the Munis system.
okay, so we have the money, yep.
Okay, the money's there.
Mm-hmm,
We now spent it out of this system.
mm-hmm,
We didn't do the accounting here to show that it was debited.
mm-hmm.
So, all right, so first of all, let me ask you this. Is
Okay,
this what we got from Ms. Carter, the same, or is this something you did guys?
No, this is
Something different?
It's part of it together.
Okay, because you're showing Jerry Burrell in 2021, so you should say that, not 22. Right here?
So it's from
Right
20
there.
22 to 21.
Okay, 22. But,
So what year was that?
some
Year
of
drop
that,
out?
what they came up with says 21 and 22.
Did we look at the HUD reporting that we did that year?
Can you clarify that question, please?
I said, so did we look at the report that we did to HUD, that we submitted to HUD that year to see if it reflects this?
The annual and quarterly reports?
Yep, either one, whatever year that
No,
we,
did not.
okay, we should probably start there. Let's start there.
Well, we have remember those little code reports?
Oh, sure.
So, but my understanding is different than what was just explained. My understanding is that the money comes in, it's resides essentially in the Department of Development. You guys do have access to the system, but then we pay them. And then it moves, then it gets drawn down from that. And according to the report that we got, there, and which is also what they have to report to HUD, that money still is there. That they tell us we got multiple reports. That money's still there.
I think so.
This is,
Think what? That, yes, no?
No, I'm just saying, I feel like we're kind of going around in circles. It's getting late.
And we
I
are
don't
going
know
to
if we're gonna,
because.
I might leave soon is all I'm trying to say, because I know we're coming back at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning,
Yes,
so.
we are.
um,
Oh, we could just stay there when it's up.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do that.
I mean,
So I'm just wondering, when are we
Yeah,
going to
couple
finish
minutes.
this conversation?
Yeah, I was
and
gonna
go
ask,
back
I
to
was gonna ask
2026
because
budget?
I'm like, I need to process all of this happening here.
And
So
it's
let
getting
Mr.
late.
Farley, finish up.
yeah, we have, it can't be both things, and so if we have if we get the HUD allotment, like the mayor's saying, and we spend the money out of the HUD allotment, that money comes from our general fund. So therefore, then it gets, once we do the reporting, we take the money from the HUD allotment and it goes back to the general fund, correct? Right, yes, so, I'm sorry, he's shaking his head, yes, I'm sorry.
I'm shaking my head.
So that's what happens. So we have a pot of money from HUD, okay? And we have a pot, and we have our city pot. of money. We spent $300,000 out of our city pot of money. Once we spend that money, we tell HUD, and then HUD, or we don't have to, we take the money out of the HUD pot and it goes back into our city pot, correct?
We can't reimburse.
Yes. So if we spent the $300,000 out of the city pot, like it's being reported to us right now, it's almost irrelevant if we, well, it's very relevant, but it's almost less important as far as did we report it in our HUD account, because that money goes back to us. So that's a very simple transaction of this pot of money pays, we update our records, and then we pull from this pot of money.
Okay,
If this pot of money paid and we didn't update our records and pull from this pot of money, then money should still be in that pot. And once we reconcile, it should go back to the general fund.
we're saying the same thing.
Yes.
I know
Yeah,
we're saying the same
no,
thing.
I'm glad
So,
I think we go. So I think we're going around the circle here. It's Friday evening, there are a lot to process here. And we have a meeting tomorrow.
Yeah.
And regardless of what we do, we're gonna have a budget tomorrow, regardless. Up or down number, we're gonna have to have a budget, it's a must.
And without Mr. Williams here anyway, which is
Yeah.
only the three of us
So-
on finance, we wouldn't be able to finish
Are
this
there any
today.
other questions?
Well, I have a feeling that we
Yes.
won't be voting.
Are there any other questions that needs to be addressed tonight? Are there any questions for the Commissioner of Finance, so needs to answer for us tomorrow morning? I did ask back for the questions again, from last night. Yes, Carl, do you have anything else that you need to address?
Yeah, there's a lot that needs to be addressed.
Not tonight.
Yeah, I'm just saying, this feels like three-card monster. I feel like it's like it's here, but then which one is it? And I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to follow one simple transaction, $300,000. Well, I'm telling them.
No, allow people to express themselves, please.
Yes, I'm not being disrespectful or rude. I'm talking about, this is literally,
I felt really, really bad that we are taking in circles. That we are asking information, we are not getting information, and we're being pushed back in terms of information. Very specific last
Can I
night.
do a little counting system? We get $10 from HUD, okay? So I put $10 over here in this side of the ledger, and I put $10 over here. And this is the city ledger, and this is the HUD ledger.
why don't you label
Now-
those for me so I can see? 'Cause-
I
Hold on a
spent
second.
the $10.
Can you label them for, because I'm literally want to follow along here with you. So you can show me what you're saying.
HUD, and
Okay.
city account.
Okay, yep.
So now I've spent the $10,
Out of what city
the
account?
city account, and we
Yep.
debited it.
Yep. So now you have
But we-
zero money in the
but-
city account.
But we didn't debit it out of here.
Mm-hmm.
It's an accounting, it's a paper, but there's no $10. The
No,
$10 is
no, sir.
gone.
No, sir. So based on what you're saying, is that we have a HUD account and we have a city account, correct?
Is that, those are paper, yes.
How, I don't think it's cardboard. However you want to describe it, there's two different pots here, right? Is that what, are you identifying that?
But there's only $1.
I understand that there's only $1. I'm just asking a very simple question. So there's two pots of money, right? Or there's two accounts, if you will.
Right.
You're saying that HUD says, here's $10, right? Where does that $10 go when they give it to us?
Right here in the center, but we credit it in both accounts for paper.
Oh, you see, you just added another column on me there. See what I'm saying? That's why it's three-card Monty. So the money has to go somewhere. This is a good. No, but, the mayor is.
The mayor
He's trying to explain
let
this
the mayor
to you.
finish this.
He's trying to explain it to
You
you.
want to cut the mayor off?
I've done it.
No, I'm asking, I don't think it's that simple, because I'm asking very simple questions. So if there's if there's two accounts, and you're saying that we draw the $10 out of the city account, then that money goes out, the $10 goes away, it's out there, right? Okay? After we send the $10 out of the city account, we're supposed to tell HUD what we did, and they're supposed to give us our $10 back.
They gave us the $10 to begin with. And we haven't necessarily told HUD that we've spent it.
Sure.
So the reconciliation may be off.
So to me, can I say?
Yeah,
To me,
you're saying
it's
this.
for us to get the money and report it in two different places, doesn't make sense. It's not what I understood Ms. Carter to say
That's
at all.
not, that's,
That's not what I understood.
listen, I feel like what's happening here is that things are getting intentionally complicated so we can hide in confusion. That's how I feel is what's happening right here. I'm telling you that you were very clear with me that what my scenario was correct. right?
I did not say your scenario is correct.
I said, what I asked you, we get money from HUD, or get allotment from HUD, we pay out of our city budget, and then HUD reimburses the city budget. You said that was correct. Is that changing?
We get a grant. They don't
Sure.
Hand us the money. We have to
Okay.
Pay the money. Just as the mayor showed you the $10.
Yes.
They pull multiple $10 out.
Yes, it's only one, yep. So they give us the money. They don't give us the money yet, they just tell us that they're gonna give us the money, is that what you're saying?
They have the word, and the mayor noted.
But if according to this scenario, let me just say this quickly, and then we are gonna go. If that was the case, and the HUD money really showed in the city budget, then you would show it in the revenue. And I've never seen it, the CDBG in the revenue like that, the way this is being explained.
Not.
Commissioner, can you email me the Excel version for the sheet, please? Or for the council?
Yeah, she-
The entire one. The two part, if you don't mind, please email it to me tonight.
What do you mean 2 parts?
This part here, and then there are 3 pages, I think, on the
It's
other.
all one spreadsheet.
One spreadsheet, okay, if you don't mind, email it to me tonight before we do home. Any other business or finance?
Yes, but if we don't get a basic understanding of this, then coming in here tomorrow, we're not gonna be any closer than where we are. So this is why I'm asking these are not complicated questions. I can't even think of a complicated question that be this complicated.
Well,
If
I've been asking this for the last several meetings. I personally felt that I'm taking around in circles.
That's what I'm
I'm an
saying.
accountant. We don't do things like that. We deal with multi-billion-dollar projects, and we don't do things like that. So any other business or finance? May I have a motion to recess until tomorrow, 9 AM? Second, all in favor? Aye, thank you. See you all in the morning.
Mr. Williams be here tomorrow?
I have one too.
This is just one of the problem. This is-
Yes, okay.
Sure.
No problem.